The Building Safety Bill, the government's response to the terrible fire at Grenfell Tower, is to be debated at Westminster tomorrow. Ministers say it'll deliver the biggest reform of building safety in 40 years. Across England, Wales and Scotland, hundreds of thousands of people living in flats with flammable cladding and other fire safety issues say there is nothing in the legislation to protect them, despite the official promises made. Ministers have set aside £5 billion to help those in the tallest unsafe buildings, which campaigners say is totally inadequate. And the new bill is set to provide more time for developers to be sued for cladding defects. Our correspondent Sarah Corker has been to Ipswich to ask if the legislation is likely to work.
The calls from flat owners stuck in unsellable, unsafe homes are growing louder. What started as a crisis with cladding after Grenfell has become a much bigger safety scandal. The government plans to give homeowners up to 15 years to sue developers for substandard work. But here in Ipswich, that carries little weight with Claire. Her block has dangerous cladding and a range of other safety faults.
It will be of absolutely zero help to me. The developer has gone bust, so there's nobody to sue. And even if there were somebody to sue, how am I going to get the money to be able to sue a property developer? And it feels at the moment that Boris just doesn't care about us leaseholders. There's hundreds of thousands of us trapped in this situation.
It's estimated there are 19 blocks in Ipswich with safety defects. 14 of those have developers who have gone bust or are in administration, so there's no one to sue. The government's Building Safety Bill will also create a new regulator to ensure safety in tower blocks. It will oversee the safe design, construction and occupation of buildings. Developers face tougher regulation and will have to join the New Homes Ombudsman scheme.
After years of deregulation, this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to create a regime that will help to produce safer buildings. It's great for new build going forward, but it's not great at the moment for residents trapped in unsafe buildings with unsustainable financial implications.
Among them are Helena and Igor. Their problem isn't cladding, but the insulation and timber beneath it. They're facing a large bill. Igor has multiple sclerosis and can only work part-time.
On the moment, our property is worth £0.
It's worth nothing?
Nothing.
One day I wake up and I have MS and primary progressive, and I understand I'm gonna feel just worse and worse. And I'm worried if I lost my job, it's gonna be all on my wife's shoulders.
House builders have set aside around £500 million to fix the blocks they own, but it's not enough. MPs have estimated this is at least a £15 billion problem, and that's just to fix cladding issues. The government says going forward, building owners will have to prove they've pursued all other options to cover the cost of fixing buildings, and making people like Helena and Igor pay should be the last resort. Sarah Corker, BBC News in Ipswich.